Israel is celebrating its Independence Day, the country's 75th birthday. A spectacular air show was the centerpiece of the festivities, but thousands also joined protests calling on the right-wing government to abandon its controversial plans to reform the country's judiciary.
Perfect weather in Tel Aviv for the festivities to mark Israel's 75th Independence Day.
It's a day of celebration, a day to be thankful to God, a day for the people of Israel to come together.
I'm here to make new connections. We're all dancing together, Israelis who are religious and those who aren't.
In Jerusalem, instead of a beach, an air show. The traditional flyby included a Eurofighter from Germany, making its debut. The festivities started on Tuesday evening with a gala event. There was also a call for unity, even in difficult times, from the Prime Minister.
To be united is to know we have one people and one state, and we won't have another one. Happy Independence Day.
But there were protests too, with calls for Israel's far-right coalition to completely abandon its plans for a judicial reform. The demonstrators say democracy is in danger in Israel.
This could be like the very last Independence Day as we know it. Next year it might be completely different. There might be like different rules or restrictions. And I think when they try to change the country, no Independence Day is the same. You can't just go about your day as if it's the same. You have to make a stand, especially today.
Israel's President Yitzhak Herzog spoke of the worst internal crisis since the founding of Israel 75 years ago. Turbulent times at a moment of celebration.
Well, Germany participated in Israel's Independence Day festivities. Our correspondent Nina Haase, she spoke with Nils Schmid, the foreign policy spokesman for the Social Democrats in Germany's parliament, about the country's relationship with Israel.
Well, it has become a deep friendship, but still it's a very special relationship due to Germany's specific historic responsibility. And so it will always be based on our responsibility due to Germany's crimes against the Jewish people in the past.
And as part of Israel's Independence Day celebrations, German and Israeli Air Force did a flyover together for the very first time. There was also a fighter jet that was decorated with both the German and the Israeli flag. Is this purely symbolic for Independence Day, or is there more behind this?
Well, it's hugely symbolic. It celebrates Independence Day, of course, but it also highlights the growing cooperation in the defense sector between our two countries, especially when it comes to the high-tech drones being produced by Israeli companies. When it comes to Air Force cooperation, this has been steadily increasing over the last 15 years, and it's very much appreciated by our Israeli friends. Sometimes it's underestimated in its importance by Germans, but still, since Israel's security is a basic tenet of our foreign policy, security cooperation is a natural part of our friendship as well.
You said it is appreciated in Israel. What kind of a signal is it sending to the rest of the world, do you think?
Well, it shows our strong commitment to Israel's security. But it also highlights the extent to which Israeli defense companies are now playing an increasing part in favor of Europe's and Germany's security.
Now, you've already said that Germany, of course, has a special historic responsibility. Angela Merkel also stressed that in her speech to the Knesset. Now, what can or should Germany do to ensure that this security for Israel stays?
Well, first of all, we help Israel to develop a credible deterrence in case of any possible aggression by anybody outside of Israel. but we also want to contribute to a peace process between the Israelis and the Palestinians. We continue to believe that a two-state solution is the best solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict.
Now, speaking of that conflict, does Germany have a responsibility towards the Palestinians? That is, in your own words, how would you describe that responsibility?
Well, the Palestinians have a legitimate purpose of establishing a state of their own. That's why we need negotiations and implementation of the two-state solution. We consider that they have a right to have a state of their own. This is also part of their right to self-determination.